Hi, this is Mike Durr with Regions Bank, and listen, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you 9 specific questions that you can ask when you're shopping for a mortgage. Now, I think that these are the questions that you should ask when you're shopping, and I know that the big question everybody asks is, what are your rates? What are the rates? Well, that's a good question, but you've got to define it a little bit. So here I go. First thing is, how long has your company been in business? That's a good question because you want to know that the financial company that's going to be providing the funds for your dream house purchase is going to be stable enough to do that. And the next question is, is the company that you're representing backed by a strong financial institution? Now that's a big question. So here it is again. Is the company that's going to fund my loan, that's going to provide the mortgage for my dream home, is it backed by a strong financial institution? It's a good question. Who is going to service my loan? Is the company that makes the loan to me going to service it, or are they going to sell the loan before the ink is even dry, and then I'm going to be serviced by somebody that doesn't know me, I don't know them, and that I'm basically a number? That's probably a pretty good question to ask. Do they fund, is the mortgage company that's going to do my mortgage, do they fund with their own money, or do they get it from a different source? And the reason I say that, there are a lot of people out there that have been left at the closing table and never get funded. Unfortunately, this last couple of years has been pretty rough on mortgage companies. So does the company that you're doing your mortgage with fund with their own money? Oh, did I ask you this? Here's a big one. Do they underwrite their own files? It's real important that you know if the mortgage company that you're being processed through, do they underwrite their own files? Because if you don't have a link or access or a liaison with the underwriter, then that can cause some problems sometimes. So good question. Do they underwrite their own files? Now, here's something about the rates that you're going to want to know about. When you're comparing several different mortgage companies, you want to ask them for rates in the same day, because the market shifts and it's really not a valid comparison to compare one company's rates on one day and then another company on another day. You need to compare all on the same day. So that's number one. Number two, only compare lender fees. Don't compare title company fees. Don't compare tax escrows, because that is going to be what it's going to be. The only thing that you're really concerned about are the lender fees. So break those out. Don't disregard the title company fees, and because you don't get to choose the title company in most cases anyway. And the taxes are going to be what they're going to be. You get to control the insurance, so you're not going to compare that either. It's an estimate. The lender fees are what you can compare. Number 4, ask how long will it take for the company to process your loan? This is a big question because there are some big companies out there that are doing mortgages, but the processing time is longer than it should be. And so what you want to know is, you want to know how long is it going to take you to process this loan? And then the most important question is, here's the question, if I lock today for the time period that it's going to take for you to process my loan, what would be my rate if I lock today? And usually a 30-day lock is what we consider a reasonable amount of time. So it could be a 30-day lock, but they may tell you, well, you know what, when we lock for 45. Well, as you lock longer, the rate tends to go up a little bit. So pin them down and say, if I close today, or if I lock today, what's my rate for 30 days, or how long is it going to take for you to process my loan? Now that's it. Those are good questions for you. I think those will serve you well, and I look forward to talking to you, and I'm ready to answer all those questions. So feel free to call me. This is Mike Durr with Regions Bank. Bye-bye.